Hey guys, it's Brian. Welcome to Financial Fitness. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. In this video, I'm going to talk about rolling over your 401k to an IRA and why you should consider it. Please do your own research or consult a financial advisor, CPA, and accountant if you need help with deciding what type of account you should roll into and what you should invest in if and when you decide to roll over your retirement plan. Let's get right into it. The 2020 contribution limit for a 401k or 403b plan is $19,500, an increase of $500 from $19,000 in 2019 based on IRS guidelines. The catch-up contribution limit for those who are over age 50 is $6,500 in 2020, an increase of $500 from $6,000 in 2019. The 2020 limit for IRAs is $6,000, unchanged from 2019, while the catch-up limit is an extra $1,000. Typically, from year to year, these contribution limits either don't increase at all or increase by about $500. The most updated contribution limits are alternatively a quick Google search away. The biggest reason to roll over your 401k to an IRA is because of the limited investment choices available in a typical 401k. This limits the amount of control you have of what your money is invested in based on the choices in your employer retirement plan. There are probably no more than a few mutual funds, a few indexes, maybe some target date funds, which are usually not great, and some fixed income or bond funds. By having more options available through an IRA, you get full control and flexibility to invest the way you want. This way, you can help maximize your returns through investment options with lower investment fees. Investing in industry sectors or ETFs, or even picking a couple stocks that you like. With the added flexibility of an IRA, you can even buy and sell things easier to rebalance your portfolio. Most 401k plans limit the amount of times you can rebalance your portfolio throughout any calendar year as well. Lower fees I mentioned along with more investment options. They go hand in hand once you have more investment choices. You can choose to pick investments that charge lower fees. With lower fees, that leaves more of your money being invested to compound and grow over time. Some of the fees that can be lowered are usually associated with mutual funds, such as management fees, expense ratios, and loads. Any annual fees that may be tied to 401ks are avoided by rolling over to an IRA as well. Roth IRAs provide a lot of tax advantages and benefits if you believe you may be in a higher tax bracket in the future when you plan to withdraw money from the Roth IRA. With Roth IRAs, you pay taxes on the money up front that you contribute and deposit into the account, but then there is no tax due when you withdraw money. This allows money invested within a Roth IRA to grow tax-free because you paid taxes when you contributed money or rolled over money from another type of retirement account like 401ks. Another benefit is that RMDs, required minimum distributions, are not required ever. With traditional IRAs, money invested within the account grows tax deferred until you withdraw the money, which is the opposite of how a Roth IRA is taxed. Since traditional IRAs are taxed when withdrawing money, you should consider it if you think you will be in a lower tax bracket in the future when you withdraw money. Roth IRAs also open up the option of what is often known as a backdoor Roth IRA. A backdoor Roth IRA is part of an advanced financial planning strategy that allows someone that is above the income limits to open a Roth IRA. The income limits in 2020 for someone filing as a single person is $139,000 and $206,000 if you're married and filing jointly. The backdoor Roth IRA strategy involves the rollover of a 401k into an IRA and then converting it to a Roth IRA if your income is above the income limits to open a Roth IRA. There are occasionally cash incentives or bonuses that try to persuade potential customers or investors to bring their money to their banking and brokerage platforms. The bonus for moving or opening a new brokerage account typically ranges from $100 to a couple $1,000. The amount can vary based on how much you will invest. There could also be free trades involved if cash is not part of the bonus. There are bonuses around the same dollar amounts for opening new bank accounts to encourage people to deposit money, and for opening new credit cards, there are bonuses as well, but in the form of bonus points, bonus miles, and cash. So if you were planning to do a rollover, keep a lookout for any bonuses based on whichever brokerage firm you choose. Fewer rules to follow since each company has their own specific rules around setting up their 401k plan for employees. By rolling over to an IRA, the rules are more standard based on regulations from the IRS. Something else that can often get overlooked is how much of your distributions can get withheld by the IRS when you withdraw money. The IRS requires 20% to be automatically withheld from 401k distributions for federal taxes, in contrast to an IRA, which does not have a requirement on withholding a certain amount for taxes. The benefit for an IRA is that you're not depleting what is invested faster than you need to, and you're allowing your money to continue compounding on a tax-deferred basis. But you should have some tax withheld when withdrawing money from an IRA to avoid getting a big surprise tax bill at the end of the calendar year and potential penalties. By being able to choose how much you want to have withheld, you can more accurately assess how much you may owe to possibly not even owe much above what you set your withholding to be. Estate planning. Estate planning advantages are another benefit of rolling over to an IRA if you are thinking further ahead with financial planning. 401ks are typically paid out in a lump sum, and therefore income taxes are required to be paid in that calendar year. 401ks are typically paid out in a lump sum when inherited, and therefore income taxes are required to be paid in that calendar year. If you are planning to pass along money to your spouse, kids, or someone else, it gives them other options for withdrawing and handling the money. The Secure Act was passed at the end of 2019, made some significant changes to how retirement accounts and inherited IRAs work specifically. To give you a before and after of what those changes are, the major changes moving forward starting in 2020 are: no max age on retirement account distributions as long as you still work and earn income, which is going beyond age 70 and a half. No max age on retirement account contributions as long as you still work and earn income, going beyond age 70 and a half. Increased RMD or required minimum distributions from age 70 and a half to age 72. Inherited IRA distributions must be taken within 10 years. Generally, there were 4 options for those inheriting the IRA as a spouse or non-spouse before 2020. Those options were based on your life expectancy, based on the deceased's life expectancy, 5-year method, and lump sum. So the IRS basically accelerated when an inherited IRA would get taxed by not allowing it to be based on the life expectancy of someone significantly younger inheriting the IRA, therefore deferring taxes being paid to them indefinitely. Assuming someone age 50 inherits an IRA from someone who is age 65, the taxes under the old guidelines wouldn't be taxed until that person is age 70 and a half, or for another 20 years. Under the new Secure Act, that inheritor would have to withdraw the money from the account within 10 years, accelerating when the IRS would get their tax money. This almost encourages more of a lump sum withdrawal and plays against all 4 of the past options, which were better for an inheritor. Keep tax-efficient strategies in mind by using various types of retirement accounts that work for your situation. That may not necessarily be an IRA, it could be a Roth IRA. But think about what tax advantages might be best for your rollover or financial plan. If you inherit money from a retirement account, check the latest IRS guidelines to help you optimize your tax situation, as they can change like they did for 2020 with the Secure Act. Ease of access and communication between you and your previous employer's plan is another reason to make the switch. If you have recently switched employers, you may find that it is harder to get information and make investment decisions once you no longer work for that company. If you roll over to your current employer, you would then be subject to their investment options and fees. Also, for simplicity, to have your money in less places, rolling over to either your new employer or to an IRA would make things easier for you. Often you might even forget that you may have several different 401ks if you've changed employers several times in the past. Rolling over to your new employer's 401k plan is not necessarily a bad idea. It does keep your money together. To wrap this up, for many people switching jobs, there are several advantages to rolling over a 401k into an IRA. A lot depends on the investment options, fees, and loan options of the 401k plan for both the old employer and the new one. You don't have to roll all of your money into an IRA. Some of your balance can remain in your former company's 401k if you're happy with the returns you're receiving and what they are invested in. If you like the investment choices of your new employer better, then you always have the option to roll over your entire old 401k into your new one. Depending on what rollover option you end up choosing, you can contribute to both your new company's 401k and IRA or Roth IRA as long as you don't go over your annual contribution limit. However, depending on your income, your ability to deduct your contribution to an IRA may be limited or not possible. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you liked this video and found it insightful. Click the like button if you did, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the notification bell so you can see when I post videos next. Feel free to leave comments, questions, and any topics you might want to hear about in future videos to get on track to being financially fit. See you in the next video.